The streetlights cast an orange glow on the freshly raked lawns. It was Halloween night, but the cul-de-sac was unusually quiet. No excited shrieks of children in costumes. No doorbell chimes echoing in the crisp autumn air. Just an unnerving stillness. It felt like the calm before a storm. I shivered, pulling my jacket tighter. Even the air felt different tonight, heavy with an unseen dread. My breath formed small clouds in the chilly air as I walked up the Davis driveway. I was their usual babysitter, and tonight was no different, or so I thought. I glanced back at the street, my unease growing. Where were all the trick-or-treaters? This neighborhood was usually teeming with costume kids by now. It was just strange, really strange. Mrs. Davis greeted me at the door, her face etched with worry. "Thank goodness you're here," she said, her voice hushed. "It's been such a strange night." "I noticed," I replied, stepping inside. "It's like a ghost town out there." Mrs. Davis shuddered. "That's what I told George. It's like something scared everyone away." She led me to little Emily, who was playing quietly in the living room. Emily, with her big blue eyes and infectious giggle, was usually a bundle of energy. But tonight, even she seemed subdued, her gaze distant. "Emily, honey, Katie's here," Mrs. Davis said, her voice unnaturally high. Emily barely acknowledged us, her eyes fixed on some unseen point across the room. Goosebumps prickled my arms. What was going on in this house? Mr. Davis came rushing down the stairs, his face pale and drawn. "Ready, honey?" he asked his wife, his voice strained. "Yes, let's go." "Katie, you have the number for emergencies, right?" Mrs. Davis asked, her voice tight with anxiety. "Yes, but what's going on?" I asked, my heart pounding. "It's Mr. Henderson's dog, Sparky. Gone missing." "Just like that," Mr. Davis said, shaking his head. "We need to check on the neighbors, make sure everyone's all right." As they hurried out, I noticed something chilling. Every single house on the street had their curtains drawn, their doors securely locked. Even the jack-o'-lanterns seemed to flicker with apprehension. The playful spirit of Halloween had been replaced by a palpable fear. The grandfather clock in the hallway chimed 8 times, each chime echoing like a hammer blow in the silence of the house. Emily continued to stare into space, her face blank, her small hands clutching a ragged teddy bear. I tried to engage her, offering her candy, reading her stories, but she remained unresponsive, lost in whatever held her captive in that vacant stare. The hair on the back of my neck prickled with unease. I felt a chill, a cold draft that seemed to seep from the very walls of the house. Outside, the wind picked up, rattling the windows and sending shivers down my spine. I tried to ignore the growing sense of dread, the feeling that unseen eyes were watching me, but it was no use. Something was terribly wrong. Section 5. The Boy in the Pig Mask. A knock on the door shattered the silence. My heart leaped into my throat. I jumped up, my hand instinctively reaching for the phone on the nearby table. Peering through the peephole, I saw him. A young boy, maybe 8 or 9, stood on the porch. He wore a tattered blue jacket and faded jeans, but it was his mask that chilled me to the bone. It was a pig mask, a grotesque, distorted thing with beady, lifeless eyes and a wide, menacing grin. He just stood there, staring at the door, unmoving. I watched him for what felt like an eternity, my breath caught in my chest. He didn't ring the doorbell again. He didn't even move. It was as if he was waiting for something. Suddenly, Emily stirred. The vacant look in her eyes vanished, replaced by a chilling intensity. She slowly rose from the floor, her gaze fixed on the front door, a slow smile spreading across her face. "Emily, honey, where are you going?" I asked, my voice trembling. She didn't answer. She just kept walking, her eyes never leaving the door, her small hand reaching out as if drawn by an invisible thread. Fear coiled around my heart, squeezing the air from my lungs. I knew I had to stop her, but my feet felt rooted to the spot. It was as if some unseen force was holding me back, paralyzing me with terror. The television flickered, the program interrupting into a mess of static and snow. Shadows danced in the corners of the room, twisting and contorting into grotesque shapes. The air grew heavy, thick with an oppressive, almost tangible fear. Emily was at the door now, her tiny hand reaching for the doorknob. I tried to call out to her again, but my voice died in my throat, a strangled gasp, lost in the growing chaos of the room. The boy in the pig mask tilted his head, the grotesque grin on his mask widening as if sensing my terror. His eyes, those lifeless, beady eyes, seemed to bore into me, filled with a chilling, malevolent amusement. With a click, the doorknob turned. Emily pulled open the door, her eyes shining with an unnatural light. The boy in the pig mask stepped inside, his presence sending a wave of icy dread washing over me. He reached out, his gloved hand closing around Emily's small one. And then, as quickly as they had appeared, they were gone, vanished into thin air. I rushed to the door, my heart pounding against my ribs. The porch was empty. The street was deserted. There was no sign of Emily, no sign of the boy in the pig mask. Only a single blood-stained teddy bear lay abandoned on the doorstep, its button eyes staring up at me with mute horror. I stumbled back, my hand flying to my mouth to stifle a scream. The blood trail started at the doorstep, a gruesome red line that snaked its way down the sidewalk and into the darkness beyond. As the reality of the situation crashed over me, I understood. The whispers, the missing pets, the empty streets, it all made sense now. The boy in the pig mask wasn't a child, he was something else entirely, a malevolent spirit feeding on fear, collecting children like lost toys. And Emily, sweet, innocent Emily, she was gone, taken by the creature in the pig mask. And the most terrifying thought of all was that I knew deep down that she wasn't the first, and she wouldn't be the last. The spirit was hungry, and Halloween night had just become its gruesome feast.